Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You are watching HumSub.TV and I am Munib Hamid with the news.
US-Pakistan engage in quiet diplomacy to improve ties. US-Pakistan talks for finding a common ground in Afghanistan have moved away from exchanging allegations into a phase of quiet diplomacy aimed at resolving differences, claims Pakistani and US officials. The officials confirmed that the two countries had held a series of meetings before and after US Defense Secretary James Mattis's December 4 visit to Islamabad, reflecting the mutual desire to improve ties. Talking to the Pakistani media in Washington, Ambassador Azaz Ahmed Chaudhry said that Secretary Mattis's visit had a positive impact on efforts to rebuild the relationship, and Pentagon's chief spokesperson Dana White said at a news briefing last week that Mr. Mattis visited Islamabad to find a common ground with Pakistan. Hudaybiyah case, Supreme Court dismisses NABs' baseless request for adjournment of proceedings. Supreme Court on Monday expressed its displeasure with the arguments presented by the National Accountability Bureau's NABs lawyer and dismissed an application filed by the Bureau seeking an adjournment of proceedings in the Hudaybiyah paper mill's reference until its new Prosecutor General is appointed. The application, which was filed by NAB on Saturday, was dismissed soon after a three-judge Supreme Court bench comprising Justice Mushir Alam, Justice Qazi Faiz Isa and Justice Mazhar Alam Khan Mia Khail resumed hearing the NAB appeal against the 2014 decision of the Lahore High Court to quash the Rs 1.2 billion reference. NAB had requested that today's hearing be adjourned until the office of the NAB Prosecutor General, which has been vacant since the retirement of Waqas Qadir in November, is filled. The court, after announcing its verdict on NAB's application, went into recess. The hearing is expected to resume shortly. Senate meets today as standoff of a delimitation bill persists. A fresh Senate session is to begin on Monday today, as a standoff over the delimitation bill continues amid refusal by the Pakistan People's Party to review its stance on the issue of re-verification of the population census data. PPP's parliamentary leader in the Senate, Taj Haider, categorically stated that his party would not support the bill unless its demand on the modus operandi for a third-party audit of the 5% census blocks was accepted. He regretted that Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Basi had recently called Sindh Chief Minister Syed Murad Ali Shah and informed him that the government would not accept the PPP's demands. On the other hand, Leader of the House in the Senate and Chairman of the ruling party, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Raza Zafrul Haq, criticized the PPP for sticking to its demands, saying that the delay in the passage of the bill could in turn delay the general elections. 200 honest people needed to change nation's fate, Chairman PTI Imran Khan. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Chairman Imran Khan said on Sunday that if his party came to power after the next general elections, it would eliminate corruption from the country. I need only 200 honest people to be appointed as heads of various departments to change the fate of the country. Citing the example of the former Inspector General of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Police, Nasir Durrani. Citing the example of the former Inspector General of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Police, Nasir Durrani, the PTI chief, said he had changed the policing culture in the province because he was an honest man. If a similar person was appointed chairman of the National Accountability Bureau, he could take action against all corrupt people without any fear. Macron urges Netanyahu to freeze Israeli settlement building. French President Emmanuel Macron urged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to freeze Israeli settlement building during their talks in Paris on Sunday. It seems to me that freezing settlement building and confidence measures with regard to the Palestinian Authority are important acts to start with, which we discussed with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Macron firmly and clearly condemned all kinds of attacks against Israel in recent hours and days following the meeting. Macron also reaffirmed his disapproval of US President Donald Trump's move to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Air raids on Yemen rebel training camp claims 26 lives. Saudi-led coalition airstrikes on a Yemen rebel training camp northwest of the capital on Sunday killed at least 26 Houthi fighters, security sources said. The head of the training camp in Haza province, Amar al-Jarrab, was among those killed in the strikes. The sources close to the rebels said. A warehouse where rockets were stocked was also hit, the sources added. Forces of the Saudi-backed Yemeni government retook the Red Sea town of Hoka from the rebels on Thursday after clashes that killed dozens, local officials and medical sources said. UK will not pay Brexit bill if no trade deal is agreed, Davies. Brexit Secretary David Davis said on Sunday Britain will not honour financial commitments agreed this week with the European Union if they fail to secure a future trade deal, contradicting Finance Minister Philip Hammond. No deal means that we won't be paying the money. It is conditional on an outcome. It is conditional on getting an implementation period. It is conditional on a trade outcome. Qatar to buy 24 fighters worth $8 billion from UK. Qatar signed a multi-billion-dollar deal on Sunday to buy 24 Typhoon fighters from Britain, its second major defense agreement this week, which comes during the worst political crisis in the region for years. The $8 billion deal was signed in Doha by Qatar's Defense Minister Khalid bin Mohammed Al Attiyah and his British counterpart Gavin Williamson. Williamson said it was the biggest order for Typhoons in a decade, and it follows a $1 billion deal signed by Qatar on December 7 to buy 12 French Dassault aviation warplanes. These formidable jets will boost the Qatari military's mission to tackle the challenges we both share in the Middle East, supporting stability in the region and delivering security at home. Venezuela opposition banned from election. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro says the country's main opposition parties are banned from taking part in the next year's presidential election. He said only parties which took part in Sunday's mayoral polls would be able to contest the presidency. Leaders from the Justice First, Popular Will and Democratic Action parties boycotted the vote because they said the electoral system was biased. President Maduro insists that Venezuelan system is entirely trustworthy. California's Thomas Fire scorches area larger than New York City. The most destructive wildfire raging in Southern California has expanded significantly, scorching an area larger than New York City. The Thomas Fire in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties has consumed 230,000 acres in the past week. Fanned by strong winds, it has become the fifth largest wildfire in recorded state history after it grew by more than 50,000 acres in a day. Residentials in coastal beach communities have been ordered to leave. Communist parties win majority in Nepal vote. An alliance of Nepal's former Maoist rebels and the main Communist Party have won a majority of seats in parliamentary elections and are expected to form the government. According to preliminary results from the Election Commission late on Sunday, the Communist CPN-UML and the Maoist Party look set for a landslide victory in the landmark polls that mark the end of the Himalayan nation's drawn-out transition to federal democracy 11 years after the end of a brutal civil war. The left-led alliance has won 84 seats in the national parliament and leads in a further 31, securing a majority. Nuclear war is a tantrum away, warns Nobel Peace Prize winners. Mankind's destruction caused by a nuclear war is just one impulsive tantrum away. The winners of the Nobel Peace Prize, the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons, won on Sunday amid a ferocious exchange of threats by the United States and North Korea over the latest nuclear tests. Tensions on the Korean peninsula have spiraled as Pyongyang has in recent months ramped up its number of missiles and nuclear tests. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un has exchanged warlike threats with US President Donald Trump, who has ordered a military show of force. Sports. England's cricketers must take responsibility for their actions and improve their off-field behaviour or risk turning a younger generation of players away from the game. All-rounder Moeen Ali said on Sunday. England's Ashes tour was plunged into another crisis when the Lions team player Ben Duckett was suspended from playing in the remainder of the team's training camp in Australia and warned about his conduct after a bar incident last week, the England and Wales Cricket Board said on Sunday. Weather. Rain thunderstorm with snowfall over the hills is expected at scattered places in Rawalpindi, Lahore, Gujranwala, Sarkodha, Faisalabad divisions, Islamabad, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, while at isolated places in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Upper Fatah, Multan, Bahawalpur, DG Khan, Sahiwal and Zob divisions.
And that is the end of the news. For more news and updates, keep watching HumSub.TV. Take care. Please subscribe to HumSub.TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching HumSub.TV.